The master of embalmers, he started by removing the brain. Using a bronze hook, the most used technique for removing the brain was to break the nasal septum. Hello, I am the Pharaoh. Today we talk about mummification in ancient Egypt. The idea of mummification. It was born long before the construction of the pyramids. It all started when the Egyptians, they began to bury their dead away from the Nile, in the desert where everything is dry, to preserve their bodies in the distant desert of the Nile. But they found another problem. It was the jackal. The jackal usually came from the desert, digging to find deceased to eat, and when the jackal ate the dead, he preferred to eat the softer part, the stomach, intestines, liver. So all these organs, they came out of the body, and leaving the body in the desert sand, so the body became drier. The ancient Egyptians, they observed that the body has become more preserved. This gave them an idea. If they can remove all these organs outside the body, they can maintain and preserve better the body of the deceased. The jackal who gave a good idea for them to mummify the body, they chose him to be the god of mummification. We always find the god of mummification Anubis represented as the jackal's head and the human body. The Egyptians developed the technique of mummification slowly, because if the body had been corrupted, the dead will not arrive to the paradise. To prevent the body from starting to decompose, all internal organs were removed. The chief of embalmers, he started removing the brain using a bronze hook, was to break up the nasal septum. Insert a hooked tool and turn, shrinking the brain to a mush, which was gradually dripped from the nose. For the ancient Egyptians, the brain was not important. Therefore, the brain was removed and thrown away, because they don't need the brain in the afterlife. But most important, the seat of knowledge, of emotions and wisdom. It was the heart, which was called IB. By the heart they could know that the deceased, he had done well or done badly in his life, doing the weighing of the heart. Therefore, the heart had to remain in the body. The embalmer will make an incision to remove organs, lungs, stomach, intestines, and liver. The organs were placed in canopic jars. In this way they could preserve these organs for the deceased to use in the afterlife. The embalmers, they covered the body with natron salt, 40 days to dry the body. Afterwards, the remains of the deceased, they were covered with linen bands, mixed with resin, oil, and honey. Each mummy requires 370 square meters of linen. During the bandaging process, they placed some magical amulets to help the deceased overcome trials on his journey to the afterlife. The ritual lasted 70 days. Thank you for listening.